Hi, welcome to SMCC's Wish Workshop on Note-Taking. So, why should you bother to take notes anyway? First of all, taking notes can assist in the memorization process, helping you digest and store information. Secondly, taking notes in class helps us to actively listen, keeping us attentive and helping us to pick up on important concepts. More on this later. Third, processing your notes will turn them into a priceless study tool for exams. Why comb through a chapter in a textbook trying to figure out what your teacher finds important when you can have that information at your fingertips? Taking good notes takes the guesswork out of studying. The first step of successful note-taking is to come to class prepared. Don't be caught off guard as your course progresses through the semester. Become familiar and acquainted with your syllabus. Where are you? Where is the course going? Create a student planner and fill it with major due dates and project timelines for the length of a semester. Here's a very important concept: active listening. How can you be sure you're fully present and aware during a class lecture? How can we keep from staring out the window or wondering what's going to happen on our favorite TV show? Active listening is key. But how do I listen actively? 1. Get to class early to minimize distractions. This is good for you and your classmates. Often the beginning of class is when your professor will preview the class content and remind you of important upcoming deadlines, like paper due dates and exams. This is why being a couple of minutes late to class actually is a really big deal and should be avoided. 2. Put away your electronics and remember to silence your phone. 3. Look over notes from previous class sessions. 4. Preview any PowerPoints or reading before the class session. This way you can fill in gaps and ask relevant questions rather than entering the class session blind. 4. Listen for keywords. And 6. Always ask questions. Ask for clarification or for examples. Never be afraid to ask. Can you identify some keywords? These words are very important markers for your benefit. They are how your professor emphasizes that you should be listening. Think of these words as code for, "This will be on the exam," or "You should probably mention this in your essay." Examples include, "It is important," "the major cause of," superlatives such as best, worst, least, most, etc., and any point your instructor repeats. During lecture, taking notes. Use outline format, abbreviations, shorthand, and sketches to save time. Use visual organizers to connect ideas. Never use a sentence when you can use a phrase, or a phrase when you can use a single word, and no paragraphs. Leave space for information you missed. Ask your instructor or classmates for help. Here is a note-taking pro tip for you. Consider ditching your laptop. Here's why. In the digital age, it might be tempting to take notes electronically to save time and paper. However, there could be a serious payoff for pulling out the pen and paper. Neuroscientists at Indiana University found that handwriting activates 3 regions of our brain, thus spiking memory. Whereas typing is mechanical, handwriting is deliberate and promotes learning. Now that you have beautifully handwritten notes from the class lecture you so actively listened to, what next? Process your notes. You should process your notes the same day as the lecture. Here's how. Read your notes. Underline, highlight, or star important information. Consider color coding and using visual organizers. Put a question mark next to unclear areas. Fill in gaps. Summarize information on the bottom of each page. Write self-test questions in the left margin. Consider keeping 2 notebooks, one for in-class and one for revising and studying. When revising, focus on organization and completeness. Effectively use your notes. Integrate your notes into your coursework. It's important to make connections between reading, lecture, and work in any course. Are you studying for an exam? Make concise flashcards for on-the-go studying. Are you writing a term paper? Organize your thoughts by incorporating your notes into a mind map. Here's a quick recap of important information. Taking notes helps us memorize, create study tools, and listen actively. Active listening is possible, but it takes effort. Less is more in note-taking. Think minimalistically. Process your notes and make them useful. Are you taking epic notes but still feeling overwhelmed? No biggie. Drive home your studies in the Learning Commons. We can help you with anything from basic math to pre-calculus, from creative writing to chemistry, from dosage calculations to philosophy. For more information on this topic, visit the link. Click on Study Skills. Visit our in-person sessions in the Learning Commons, South Portland campus. See above link for schedule. Thanks for watching. Stay creative and take good notes.